The story I am about to tell you is a story that will relate to millions of people in the world. They are the refugees, people who had to flee their country to save their lives, whose life was decided by politicians. My mom was one of them, but today it's not about her story. His name is Sarath Mao.
I was born in 1981. 2 years later, we escaped the war to the Thai border, to the refugee camp because of, the ongoing fighting.
While I am living there in Siem Reap, near one of the most incredible sites in the world, Uncle Wat, Sarath grew up in a refugee camp.
The camp is so big, nearly 1 million people living there.
I can imagine, especially for a small boy. I wonder what he thought about the world that was surrounding him.
At that time, I didn't know that what Pol Pot is, and why we were here in the refugee camp, and we get locked down in our own, a community. We couldn't travel anywhere out of the camp. The all Thai military, all the wire barber surrounded the area. And then when we got out, the Thai soldier may shot you to death. Yeah, especially the older people, but for the younger, they just give you the warning.
But Sarath was a special boy. He is born explorer.
Because I really want to know something that the younger, a child like me, they didn't. I want to explore the Thai side. I want to explore every corner of the refugee camp, and then I travel a lot in the camp. Naturally, I'm a traveler already at that time. So it's kind of adventure. And I was willing to get hit by my mom when I returned home in return for that adventure.
Eventually, Sarath made friends with Thai kids who came near the fences and even got invited to their houses. This changed a lot of his perspective.
Wow, I didn't realize that I have a chance to travel, into Thai village. And then I saw there are a lot of mangosteen farm, a lot of fruits. And then they live in a very very good living condition. They have a big house, a big farmland. So I can see a beautiful that it's a real freedom of life that we didn't have in the refugee camp, and why it's so different from just only a wire fence away.
The idea of freedom, of peace, was brought to him through books, offering him an imaginary feeling of peace.
In the lesson, the book lesson is very inspiring. We are in peace, we are we had no war. So something that we live in a very peaceful country with a lot of knowledgeable person, with a good education system. That the way we feel in the refugee camp, But after the school, then the fighting started again and again, all over, especially during the dry season. The refugee camp is the hardest moment is to get the food.
Do you remember you were hungry?
Oh yes, very much. I woke up hungry and then went to school hungry, and honestly I never tell anybody that I pick up some food from the trash bin to eat.
Yet Sarath was hopeful. Somewhere he called Cambodia was an imaginary space that felt like peace.
I was wondering why we were here in the refugee camp, and then the older people keep telling me that it's not our own place. Our place is in Cambodia across the Thai border. That's our village. Our village were very beautiful. There are a lot of green rice fields. There are a lot of palm trees. At that time, I didn't know what palm tree was, and I keep imagining about my home village that it must be very beautiful, like the older people say it, And then he keeps saying that you are the foundation of your country. When you go back, your country needs you badly, depends on you. So you have to build yourself and be well prepared when we return home. to the majority of the refugees, the strongest desire of us is to return to our homeland that our identity were from.
And the dream became reality. In 1992, Sarath was 12 years old. Do you remember the day you went back?
Oh, very well. Every activity, even in the most exciting moment of our life in the refugee camp, was to return home. So we couldn't sleep for a whole night, and we kept talking to the other groups that joined our bus ride the next morning, because we didn't expect that we would meet again, because we were from very different area. So we just keep talking and telling each other, and then say let's keep in touch, and then if we have a chance we will see each other. It is the most exciting and most emotional a moment of our life. My tear was almost dropped. So it's something like that, you know. So the most exciting one is the time that we're about to return home.
Were you disappointed when you saw that country you had always dreamed of?
It's very hard to talk about this emotion, but it's like everybody else that we are in peace, that something that we really want to expect. That in Cambodia we have a Khmer word say Pel Srok San Tran Dương Nâng Vơ Tàu Miệt Tụ Phum Dương Vĩnh, that when our country is stable, we will be able to return to our home country. That the strongest emotion, and then even today I still this kind of word reminding me every morning when I wake up. It's very strong emotion. What we didn't expect is that there still were the war going on inside the country. We are not at peace. Even we return, the entire village were burned down for so many times because of the fighting between the Khmer Rouge and the government faction again after we return. So there's no peace until 1993. Oh, sorry, 1998.
What was it like at the time?
Our playground is really covered by the ammunitions, the guns, the a rocket launcher. So I like playing at that time. I should die during that time for many times already. I didn't expect that I stay alive, because I like playing with the ammunitions. I burn it. I ditch the hole, I burn it, and then I run to the lower space, and then to observe how it would explode. And sometimes it's a big rocket with a fan behind it. It's a big one. So it's and everyone, we couldn't even move across our fence at home. Around the house, all the landmine. If we burn anything, the landmine or the ammunition must explode. Anytime you ditch something without carefully, it will explode. So it's it's covered by the it's like the red carpet for the war. So it's unbelievable that they have such a lot of money to cover the land with the ammunitions.
Do you happen to miss that refugee camp?
Oh, a lot. I went once a few years ago to visit it, but it changed a lot, all covered by the jungle. I didn't hardly remember any direction of that camp, because there's no road anymore, there's no canal anymore, there's no village anymore. What I found is only some something that they used. They couldn't move along with them, a big jar containing the water, and then some kind of debris like that all across the jungle. It's it's hard to tell you, but I miss a lot of things over there. I miss a lot, like my childhood, you know. And then it was really happy, actually. It's not only the sadness that we have, but it mixed together, that I can say the beauty of life, that make our life very beautiful, you know, from my own perspective.
How did you find that beauty of life?
But when I started to face a lot of difficulties in life, from being being able to sleep for only a few hours each day for about 5 to 7 years, you know, straight, and then after that, and then I find something that is more prosperous, you know, making my work better, and then can get promoted, and then also can get a chance to read more books, and then to spend time alone again, traveling. So that was the life that I after passing that life, and then we have something better, then we try to combine that two together and then make it a great value, that we value life, we value time, we value being brothers and sisters, we value being a family. It's like my cousin's family.
What is your hope in life?
My hope is to live in harmony like I try to have right now, and then to have a peace inside myself, and then to have something that I feel enough. I don't want to be greedy. As a middle class, I think you don't have to put so much burden for our life, because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you couldn't even take a penny, a cent of dollar to go with you.